And some of these things, like the introduction of some levies, are for public services. Honorable Minister, we are very aware that indeed we introduced free primary school education. And there are also free hospital services. But you see what? The truth is, when we have the services, but you can't find the medicine, the truth is that you are paying indirectly. So we are looking at having some levies that are very modest, such that these services, school and the hospitals, we can actually access them, including the, you can help the government even providing the services efficiently. In terms of tax compliance, we are looking at enforcing the audits, tax audits, and also make sure that the SOEs clear the tax arrears. Tools for tax administration, for example, one ID for all taxes. There is no point of having another ID for VAT, for other income tax, for this tax. It is important that we have one ID for all taxes. And also, that leads us to the second, the one that follows, that is to develop comprehensive tax income profiles. That's for national IDs and a company registry that can track individuals' income. We believe that income that is being generated by an individual must be able to be tracked. What is happening is, at the moment, the national IDs are not necessarily linked to, say, road traffic, not linked. They're not linked to other services that you can get even from the hospital. They're not linked to other services that you can get from either city assembly. So if we have a national ID or the government information system that can track what someone is doing throughout his life, it will be very possible that we can now start tracking the tax income that is being declared each and every year. On employment and individual taxation, so you see that we were looking at how can we optimize revenue, but now also we have to look at how do we make the taxation or the fiscal policies to be very conducive to people. Firstly, we can look at the major ones like the tax-free band for payee, because at the moment at 150,000 this has been affected with inflation. It has been affected with the assumed devaluation that has been affected, because even the prices of things has gone up, not necessarily in line with the official for employees. Because we look at the higher end is at 35%, but the corporate tax is at 30%, which is now inconsistent. So we have to remember that individuals that are charged 35% do not necessarily get any relief for expenses like corporates. So we are looking at a suggestion of increasing that threshold from the 2.5 million to 6 million, which we believe that is going to be a fair tax regime. In terms of corporate tax, I can't talk much because my colleagues have already talked about the same on the 40% for taxes for profits over 10 billion. That has already been discussed. However, we are looking at an economy where it is agri-based, but there are also other sectors that we are now looking at. So we're looking at reducing the corporate tax rate for agribusinesses, especially those that are in value adding. Not just the produce, but those that are in value adding. Again, the mega farms were also mentioned, but we can just add that, we need to have effective implementation of this dream. We are looking at introducing incentives for mega farms projects with an export orientation. We have to make sure that when we are looking at these products that are being produced in mega farms, we have to look at the needs for our nation and also opportunities for export. So we can look at issues like investment allowances and enhanced capital allowances on qualifying farm equipment. Lately, we have seen that we have been allowing tax holidays for investments in either green energy or mining, but we have seen that it hasn't been helping the nation as much. So we believe that we can even introduce a reduced business tax rate of 20%, and that is going to help generating more income for the nation. In terms of specific sectors that we are looking at, firstly, in terms of green energy and the natural gas, our colleagues in Tanzania, Mozambique, now they are getting into the compressed natural gas, which is being used in buses. And it's something that we can study and emulate. Also, in terms of the mining, which is one of the sectors that is being optimized, or it's on the priority list, which is, if I may recall, Honorable Minister, you have been looking at ATM, which is agriculture, tourism, and mining. Now, on the mining, there has been a lot of talk, and we haven't seen much. We are looking at efficient, effective, and a functional mining regulatory framework. Seriously, in this sector, we can change our fortunes as a nation. But there's been a lot that has been happening. Actually, we have to be very patriotic as Malawians when it comes to the issue of mining. We know very well in places where illegal mining is taking place, but we choose to keep quiet. And even the regulatory bodies are also aware, but nothing is taking place. And in the end, we are in the same ship. If this ship sinks, we all what? Sink. So let's make sure that we have effective and a functional mining regulatory framework. The act is there, but there's little that is happening as from the way how we view it. And also, we know very well that agriculture requires a lot of farmer inputs.